Hello and welcome back. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Erin.
And this is the Getaways Podcast.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, we are in the midst of February, which is been flu month for us. That's a good time.
This flu has been a killer.
It is, but today's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And I think starting today or very, very soon.
I think today is the kickoff
of Carnival season.
Carnival, yeah.
So Carnival is what they call Mardi Gras, basically, in the U.S.
Or it's what the U.S. have turned into Mardi Gras, because Carnival was obviously around long before the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it started like in the 11th century, right?
Yeah. In Venice.
In Venice. And I think we all know about the masks and any time of year you can buy like the coolest masks in Venice, but that's when people actually wore them and used them was for Carnivale. But let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Because the first Mardi Gras that I celebrated, I don't know if you celebrated like as a kid.
No.
But we went, we still lived in LA, we went to New Orleans and Dylan was pretty little.
Dylan was like 6 or 7.
Yeah. A very different vibe. I mean, obviously, we weren't sloshing back hurricanes and flashing people, but the vibe of the party and during the days, it was pretty kid friendly, right? I mean,
it was, yes. I mean, we didn't really go to very many nighttime. We stayed off of Bourbon Street. We went to one nighttime.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to one nighttime, but we found a family friendly one. Remember, it's the first night we went and Dylan had like hundreds of necklaces and then we came home and ate the king cake.
Yeah, which king cake, that's reason enough to celebrate Mardi Gras. But we'll come back to that. But the vibe is really fun. I love a good wig, and we all got wigs, and it was just really fun.
Yeah, Mardi Gras is more wigs, hats, not so much masks. I felt like
in Mardi Gras,
New Orleans.
Yeah, for sure. So that was kind of our intro, and then cut to living in Florence our first year, and we didn't really have any idea what Carnivale would be like there. I don't
even think we planned about celebrating Carnivale.
Yeah. So, but what we realized very quickly was that Carnivale, at least in Italy, is, well, and here too, I guess in the Netherlands, is when kids get dressed up way more than celebrating Halloween, because Halloween's not really a thing here.
Yeah, Dylan wore the first year because he had that Egyptian play at school.
Oh, that's why. I was trying to think why because he was a pharaoh.
He wore his pharaoh costume. But the next year, remember, him and all his friends, we made Marshmallow, the DJ things in Torino. That was fun.
Yeah, but definitely like
it's Halloween in Europe, basically.
Right. And everybody wears costumes to school, walking down the street in all the same ways that you would see on Halloween, except often for a longer period of time. In Florence, I don't even know if we found it or we were just kind of meandering, but there was this big piazza that was just filled with ways to celebrate Carnivale and for kids. And what struck me the most, I think, was just how simple sounds like a negative word, and I don't mean it to be negative, but kids were having a great time, like stepping on cups, like they were stilts and walking across and tossing tiny little cheap balls to each other. I mean, it was just like the most wholesome thing I think I've ever seen. Like, it was crazy.
Well, because I realized as we lived in Italy, on every occasion, they kept it simple, like it had been for hundreds and hundreds of years. They didn't change it to more technical or more extravagant.
Right. And I think the through line in European celebrations is confetti.
So much confetti.
Everybody loves confetti.
And that silly string stuff.
Yeah. So you could find confetti in your pockets and seams for like weeks after being at a Carnivale celebration. I mean, it's everybody loves it except the guys that have to clean up the next morning because it's everywhere on the ground.
We haven't been to Dutch Carnivale. We're going to try that this year. Yeah. But all we've done so far is Italian Carnivale, several, and confetti is the main through line of all of it.
There's also lots of floats and parades in the same way that's, similar to New Orleans, but big, floats that people work on all year on store, and, the parades come through. I don't remember all the cities we've been to.
The floats feel more like a Macy's Day Parade, but they're not balloons. They are like floats, but there's some weird, scary creatures, and they're not as much as the floats in New Orleans that I remember had people on them waving and throwing necklace and stuff. This is more like elaborate, like cartoon characters or pirates or.
Yeah.
In this place we went to in Rivoli, they had one of the pizza chefs of the town had his own float.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. I'll put pictures up on the website.
But yeah, I remember one that just had its tongue sticking out at you every time it turned.
It went back and forth to the music.
Yeah.
That was in Rivoli.
Yeah. And then we went to one near Siena right before COVID hit.
In Fogliano della Chiana, I believe.
And that was literally right when COVID was coming. But it was a really fun time. I mean, they were very everybody was out. Everybody was throwing confetti.
Because of COVID, the streets weren't as packed as it was when we were in Rivoli, which was pre-COVID. But it was still full. I'll put pictures up. But it was you dressed as the money heist. Yeah.
Money heist.
And Dylan was some anime character. I don't remember who.
I don't know.
But he had a little black mask on. And there was...
Again, I love a wig. Wore a wig.
Confetti everywhere. And there was a lot of motorcycle gangs.
There was a whole Harley parade.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say gangs. It's not the same. But a whole group of men on Harleys. That was really fun.
Yeah. So basically, it's a big party. And everybody comes out. Everybody's part of the parade. Everyone gets dressed up. It's a bit more... family friendly, I would say.
Drinking's not the center of the celebration. And most of the parades are during the day.
Right.
There's more balls and stuff at night, not parades.
Right. At least from our experience
in
far
Italy,
in Europe. Yeah. But you know what there is? There are lots and lots of sweet treats to be had for Carnivale.
They don't have king cake, but they have plenty of other really, really good stuff.
In 2020, though, we made our friend who visited us from the U.S. bring a king cake with her.
And it was delicious. And it was what we needed to get started into COVID.
The COVID kickoff. But we have had some delicious treats for Carnivale. In Torino, you would go to the bakery or even the grocery store, I guess, had them.
Yeah.
But they're these kind of flat bits of dough that's fried and then sprinkled with powdered sugar. In Torino, we called them the boogie. But they are super delicious. And I know it sounds kind of donutty and heavy, but it's not. It's really light and flaky.
It's more almost like pie dough.
Yeah.
Pie dough. It just melts in your mouth. If you want to go for the delicious donutty sweet treat during Carnivale, there's frittelle, which are big fried donut balls coated in sugar. Okay, well there are some. So Carnivale spread out of Italy pretty early, and there's Carnivale in a lot of European countries, and all of them have their own kind of weird traditions. We've talked about Italy's, right? The masks and that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to Nice's Carnivale, but I heard it's huge. Have you heard anything about Nice's?
I guess I haven't been there during Carnivale.
They have more Rose Parade floats. Their floats are all built with flowers, decorated with flowers, and the people on the floats actually throw flowers to people, unlike in America where they throw the beads of necklaces.
And candy.
Yeah.
And Cologne is a big place too. Cologne has a party for everything.
Oh yeah, Cologne is the party capital of Europe.
And I feel like they're probably closer with the beer factor. They're closer to America. Mardi Gras.
Yeah, they do. I know that their Carnivale kicks off with a women's Carnivale. That's the very first celebration of the season. And I don't know why. I guess we should figure out. But women cut men's ties as a symbol of female power. And then I know Spain has a pretty big, obviously, Carnivale. But I don't know about any of their traditions.
We will have to hit there at some point.
And then Belgium, which we should maybe see if there's one in Antwerp or something that we could go to this season since we're on break anyway, because I heard they throw oranges at the crowd.
Oh.
But of course, the Belgians, their food of Carnivale season is waffles and beer.
Yeah. Well, which it always should be.
Yeah, so I think everybody does it. Croatia celebrates Carnivale. The Czech Republic celebrates Carnivale.
Well, I think all the countries that were traditionally some sort of Christianity have, celebrate the beginning of Lent or the last chance to eat and do whatever you want.
Well, I'm excited to celebrate it in a different country this year. So we'll put stuff up on Instagram of the parade.
Yeah, and we will keep you posted on what we learned this year and on other countries. But in the meantime, happy Carnivale.
Happy Carnivale. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys are all staying healthy from the flu. Don't forget to check out our website, thegetawayswiththez.com.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.